Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we have a moment. We have a little bit of a moment where certain products don't work, certain products do work really well and totally exceed my expectations, but there are a few products in this video that did shock me, and yeah, let's just get into this. That's too bright. So I don't actually have a new primer that I can try, so I think I'm just going to go straight into foundation. And anyway, it kind of means that I can get to know if the foundation works well by itself. So for foundation, I'm going to be using Wet n Wild's Photo Focus foundation. This is the shade Ivory. This is the lightest one they have, and I'm hoping that it matches me. I don't know about these applicators. These applicators are like the little hard kind of plastic ones, and you're just supposed to like spread it on. I don't really know, I just kind of feel like it never takes out enough and you're constantly dipping in. So I'm going to avoid that, and I'm only going to put a tiny little bit on the back of my hand. Thought it was going to be too liquidy there. Usually foundations that come in little bottles like this tend to be extremely liquidy, and when you go to pull them out like that, they pour everywhere. So I'm just going to take my regular medical sponge. I don't have a different sponge I could try, and I'm going to be applying this foundation and see if I like it. Doesn't smell of anything. I mean, it does, but I don't know. I can't really determine what that smells like. Doesn't smell bad though. Okay, so just from holding my mirror, that is quite a liquidy foundation. My presumptions were right. So I'm actually just going to take as much as I can on this miracle sponge and just dab it on the face as quickly as possible. It is oxidising a tiny little bit because it is turning a little bit darker than what it was. It's slightly yellowish. Okay, I want to be honest. Coverage, really good. Let's give credit where credit's due. It is a really hot day here in Scotland and my ears are quite red, so that's not the foundation that's not covering that up, that's just me. I'm far too pale for sun. I mean, the foundation is quite a good match. That's why when you go shopping, you should always match your foundation to your hands, because you don't want to match it to your face, because your face never matches your body. For brows, I'm going to be using Focalur's Ash Brown Dip Brow Pomade. So I'm going to be dipping in and just picking up some product. This is quite hard. Like, if you guys are used to using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, you can like scoop that out. It's quite a soft pomade, this one. Don't know if you can hear. No, you're never going to hear that. That's worrying because it means that you have to work quite fast or constantly put the lid on so that it doesn't dry out when you're using it. So I've just coated the brush quite well, and now I'm going to start filling in my eyebrows. So as I predicted, I did run out of what was on the brush as well as my hand, so I'm going to have to dip back in again. It kind of feels like I'm working with a pomade that has a gel in it. So like when you apply brow gel, it's that kind of feeling. Like imagine you were to use brow gel and fill it in. That's what this consistency is like. I don't know, it's quite difficult to work with, and I don't want to say I don't like the pomade because I do actually really like it. I think that it glides on easy, it works quite well when you get it in place properly, it looks really good. I do like the texture now that I've warmed to it a little bit, but if there is one thing that I'm not too fond of, it's probably that it doesn't give you enough time to blend it out, and when it does blend out and you're like pulling so much, it ends up kind of spreading everywhere. I'm going to be taking the Makeup Revolution Pro Concealer. This is a full coverage camouflage concealer, that's all it says, so let's put it to the test. I'm going to put some under the eye. So I'm just going to blend this concealer out. I do feel like this concealer is incredible coverage. I mean, as you guys can clearly see, it's wow. First application, when you apply it, you can really feel it. Like you can feel it quite heavy. I don't want to say oily, but it does feel quite sticky oily. But as soon as you blend it out, it feels so comfortable, lightweight, it completely changes. I'm actually really surprised because when I applied this at first I was like, oh, don't like this. But then as soon as I started blending it out and I realised how comfortable it was and how amazing coverage, changed my mind. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting the face, and for the eyelids I'm going to be using this product right here. This is by a brand in the UK called Primark, and this is called the PHR. You guys can't really see because it's hollow, but this is called the PHR setting powder. So it basically stands for Perform, Hydrate and Recover Sweat Resistant Face Powder. Damn it, every single time this mirror seems to get foundation prints. My Virgo brain is being drove crazy by this. Much better. I can already see that foundation starting to kind of break up a little bit, just a tad, like just around the chin, but it could be that I haven't set it yet, so I'm going to go in and set my face, and I'm just going to be using that same powder. But before I do that, for under the eyes I'm going to be using a different kind of powder, and for that I'm going to be using the Morphe setting powder in the shade Banana. To set the rest of the face, I'm going to be taking that same PHR powder by Primark, but to do this, I'm going to be taking some of the Revlon brushes. These were kindly gifted to me by Revlon, and I do use them. You guys will see that I use this one right here. This is the blush brush. I use this one so much. I love it. I really enjoy that brush. As for these ones, I don't really reach for them much. The reason because I don't usually use a foundation brush that often, so that's why that one doesn't really get used. This one right here, this is a lip one, and this broke straight away. This is meant to like retract and get bigger, and you're meant to have more control with it, but it completely just stopped working. I don't even know what happened. The whole contents just kind of like combust and exploded everywhere. And then these two, this one isn't bad. It definitely, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, but it definitely sheds. It's just kind of crazy for a brush that is quite expensive. Like, I did see how much these were, and even though I was sent them and I'm really grateful, I just kind of feel like they need a little bit more work. I don't know what's happened. I haven't washed them where the glue's melted or anything's went funny. It's just, this is what's happened. So I've zoomed you guys in, and if I just go in and kind of like move at them, you can already see that hairs are coming off on my hand. This doesn't take much for this to happen, especially when you're applying this over wet foundation. The bristles just come off, they stick to your face, it's really uncomfortable, and of course you don't want to forget that they're there, and then you go out in public and you have all these little bristles stuck to your face. It's just not a good look, of course. The other brush that I really don't like using, and as you can see there's already bristles just like popping out and they just come right off. This one right here is the blending brush. This is for foundation. This is, I could never use this brush. This one right here just, I mean, they literally just come off right in your hand. Every single touch. It's the black ones that seem to always come out. And I mean, they even do this thing as well where they snap in half and then all these tiny little hairs appear on your face. I don't really know what's up with that, but that's the reason why I don't like going in with these brushes. But I'm going to be using this powder brush by Revlon just to see if you guys can see what's happening with this brush. Okay, so this brush is just breaking off all these tiny little micro hairs. You can just see them. It's sticking to the wet foundation. Oh my god. Okay, the foundation has completely broken up on the nose. Like, anytime I go in with this brush and I'm going in really lightly, I'm just tapping, it seems to be like sliding right off. Maybe it'll work better if I use a primer next time, but I really wanted to just get like a full experience of what the foundation is like. Plus, no foundation says that you have to use a primer with it. There's so many hairs like stuck to the face from that brush that it's so itchy. Ah! Moving on to bronzing, I'm going to be taking this palette right here. This is huge. It really reminds me of like an iPad case. This is what it looks like. So this palette right here is called the Pro Artist Pad Backstage Palette, and this is by Freedom, which Freedom is like another sister company to Makeup Revolution. This is what it looks like. You take off this little band right here, and it comes with a huge selection of bronzers, highlights, blush and setting powder. One thing that you guys can see is that, oh wow, you can see yourself, hello. But you can see that the mirror is quite distorted, like you guys are going in and out right now. And for that reason I will not be using the mirror. I don't really think that that's quite high quality, but I mean, it doesn't really matter when you've got a palette this incredible. For bronzer, I think I'm going to be dipping into this shade right here, and I'm going to be bronzing up my face like normal. Oh my god, wow, that's really pigmented. Okay, so right off the bat, I mean, it's happened again. It is a really pigmented bronzer. I feel like I'm I'm just placing it down and already this is happening. I mean, so it does give you time to really blend it out, which I enjoy, and once it's actually blended out, it does not look that bad. It looks like the perfect kind of blushy bronzer mix that I really, really love. I don't know whether, I mean, that could be the foundation underneath. Has got a little bit patchy, a little bit clingy here. So I'm going to be using the blush from this palette, and I'm going to be taking this one right here. And the only brush that I feel works from Revlon is this one right here. This is the blush brush. It does not shed. It works so well. It applies the blush gorgeously. So it did pick up quite a little bit, so I'm just going to remove some and then start stippling the blush on. Wow. It's really pigmented. Okay, wow, this palette is really crazy pigmented. I don't know if you can see, but this is like a little bit much. Moving on to eyes, I'm going to be taking this palette right here. This is so, so pretty. Look at how stunning that is. The mirror in this one is really high quality. I keep getting everything so fingerprinted, but as you can see, there's no bending whatsoever. Really, really high quality. But this is what this palette looks like. This is called the Forever Flawless palette by Makeup Revolution. So I'm going to be taking this shade right here called Official, and I'm going to be blending this through my crease. To deepen the crease up, I'm going to be going in with this shade right here called Cherish. Now I'm going to focus at this shade right here called Love Letter, and I'm going to be placing that in the outer V only. I'm going to be using this shade right here called Cherish, and I'm going to be blending this all along that bottom lash line. Now dipping into Koi, I'm going to be blending them both out. So this gives you guys a little bit of a closer look at everything. This is how the shadow has blended out. I think that it looks really, really nice actually. I'm enjoying this palette a lot. But I'm going to be going back to that Pro Camouflage Concealer by Makeup Revolution, and I'm going to be carving the lid. Now that the lid is completely carved, I'm going to be dipping into the shade Movie. It's this really deep purple. Now just using the same brush, I'm going to be dipping into the shade Platonic. Now for the inner corner, I'm going to be taking the shade called First Date. Moving on to mascara, I'm going to be taking this one right here. This is by W7 and this is called Forever Lashes. It says extra volumizing mascara on the front, so let's see if it does. Oh wow. Okay. Feels really light in the eyes. It doesn't feel sticky, which usually when a mascara feels sticky it's guaranteed to start cracking off just because of how thick it is. This one feels really, really light. It feels extremely comfortable. I wouldn't even know I'm wearing mascara. Moving on to highlight, I'm really excited about this palette. I love blush, and this blush palette has two highlights in it. This right here is Makeup Revolution's Blush, Sugar and Spice palette, and these shades right here are highlighters. I'm going to be going in with this one right here, and I'm going to be putting it all over my face. I'm talking cheekbones, inner corner of eye, brow bone, everywhere. That's a really nice highlight. Can you guys see that? Wow. For lashes, I'm going to be taking this pair right here. I was really kindly gifted these by Spectrum, but again, I'm not being paid to talk about them. I really don't make a penny. No, I'm just joking. This is the Mean Girls collection by Spectrum, and this pair right here is called Gretchen Wieners. Everybody knows Gretchen. Okay, so the lashes are on. I think they're pretty. They're quite light for me. I usually go for a really, really fluffy, large lash. If you've seen my last videos, then you know that. These are still really, really pretty though. I quite like them. They they are very delicate, so it was quite difficult to apply them, but once they're on, which is good. Like, they're not peeling at the sides, they're not lifting. Overall, I think that these lashes are really, really pretty. Would I wear them again? For natural glam, I probably would. So now it's time for a lip liner, and I don't have one that I haven't tried yet, so I'm just going to go in with a Revlon Nude Lip Liner, which is the one I always go in with. But I'm going to do it off camera and I will be right back. Revlon was kind enough to send these over again. They don't know that I'm making this video, but these are their cushion lip tints. So this is what it looks like up close. It is a cushion, very, very spongy applicator. So first impression, these feel nice and comfortable. It feels really, really light. The pigment is really strong and they smell incredible. They smell so, so yummy. Like, I really want to eat them. I don't really have any strong negative feelings on these. I do just feel like the applicator was quite big and it was bigger than my lips, so I found it quite difficult to try and get a clean line even though I over outlined. So that's probably like one thing I would change, maybe make the applicator a little bit smaller. But apart from that, I really, really like this product. So guys, that is it for me trying out new products. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I feel like it started off going from really well. I was very excited to try all these different things and had high hopes, and then it slowly went downhill and turned to more of a fail. And I think I managed to really redeem this look. I think that it finished off quite well. I'm really enjoying it. That was my opinions on the products. If you did enjoy this video, then remember to give it a huge thumbs up. It would mean so much to me. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. I post 3 times a week and can't wait to share more videos with you all. I'll hopefully see you all in my next video. Bye guys!